You want more, except you already have everything. You feel dissatisfied, but there's no real reason for you to. Everything is fine. And you've been taught growing up you can't want more for no reason. You need to need it. You don't just want. Wanting is wrong. That is part of the belief system that you have. Wanting is actually a sign of growth. You came into this world to experience more. So you are allowed to just want more. This is part of the shift, and change is uncomfortable. That's the thing. You're sitting in this, maybe you have a business idea, something that's been brewing in your head that you want to carry forward. But how do you do that? And why rock a boat that's fine? Question is fine good enough for you? Are you going to live in the land of fine, or are you going to push yourself to get into the land of more? The thing is that you cannot wait to be sure, incidentally. If this is something that you want, you need to jump on that bus while it's there, ready to move. And you can't be absolutely sure of all the pieces fitting in together. That is not the path for you. You need to have faith or something that guides you. Faith in a higher being, in a greater knowledge, in God, in something that guides you forward. So I'm Shiro, and in this one I'm leading you through my own journey. I left my very cushy corporate job to leap into the unknown. And here we are talking about identity shift, because that's what needs to happen. You need to stop being the person you have been to become someone new. And that's not that straightforward. Or it is, depending on how you look at it. It actually takes a look at how uncomfortable you are in the present situation. If you have more discomfort with where you are now versus where you want to go, then that is what makes you move. Because if the level of discomfort isn't big enough to move you forward, then you'll remain where you are, unhappy but comfortable. So we'll be using the example of my own transition in this conversation. Grab your tea, grab something to drink, and let's go ahead. So the first thing, it seems obvious, but hold on. The first question is, what do you want? This is unfortunately where so many people get stumped. Clarifying what they want. You have an idea of a better life, but what precisely it is you want is a question mark. If we look at it in business, the business idea that you have, what is its why? Why is that the area that you want to get into? And making money is not the why. That's the result of being in that business. Why? What is it that you want to do? So the reason that in business you need to go down to your why is that you can see whether this is something that's going to be sustainable for you, because it aligns to you. It aligns to who you are. And because of that, it's something that you'll be able to do and you'll get some joy out of doing. So those are the two questions, actually. What do you want? And clarifying it in a crystal clear way. You need to be able to visualize what it is that you're heading towards. Because without this clarity, the universe can't come down and say, we think this is what she has in mind. No, it comes from you, because this is your desire. So have your desire set out. You need to be super clear on it yourself. And it can only be a desire that aligns to you. If it is out of alignment, if it's not something that you feel at peace with within your soul, within your heart, then that is not something that is meant for you. You need to find your own path. You need to face the fear. With changes, there's always a fear that comes. And you need to be able to consider the fear that you have and decide what kind of fear it is. There is this fear that comes from knowing that it is wrong for you, that it is misaligned. And that is some kind of message and warning that you're getting within yourself. But there's a fear that comes because this is something that you are craving for yourself. This is something that excites you. This is something that you truly long for. But the cost of achieving it is very high. And that's really one of the things you need to think of, the place that you are now and the fact that you're going to need to leave it. You need to take the time to grieve, to grieve the fact that you're going to be saying goodbye to who you are today, where you are today. There are relationships that will fall off. There's places, things, people, beliefs. In fact, beliefs is a big one. There are beliefs that will fall off. And it is uncomfortable to move away from beliefs, because beliefs are like these structures that we've had all along that have told us who we are. So when you take an axe to the trunk of a belief and cut down that tree, you might feel destabilized because you're no longer the person you used to be. You're used to being that person, regardless of how difficult that life was. It's something that's comfortable in its discomfort. And when you say it's better the devil you know than the angel you don't, that's the devil you know. So sometimes it feels safer to remain in that space other than striving for this new thing that you want. So grieve. Take the time to grieve. And the process of identity shift is not something that happens overnight. It takes some time. The length of time depends. In my case, it took some time because this grieving process for me took quite some time. I'd say about a year at least. Grieving, looking at where I was and what I was going to lose out on. I've been a lawyer I've been known as Wakili, the lawyer, for more than 20 years. So moving away consciously from this title, one of the biggest battles I had in my head was, what would I tell people I am? Who am I? I had this title that I was used to just spilling out whenever people asked. There was a big company behind it, and that was comfortable for me. So moving away from that into a new area, especially not knowing what this area is going to be, is an identity shift. And it is uncomfortable, but more than that, it is disconcerting, because it means giving away the things, the life that you knew, and becoming someone else without knowing who that new person is. You've never met them, you've never lived their experience. So it takes some faith and it takes some alignment to the resolve to move forward. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to do is to calculate. What are we talking about? What are you doing? So you want to move from here to here. You have this business idea. You need to figure out some form of business plan. What are you doing? What are you selling? How much are you selling it at? Who are you selling it to? What is your market? So this actually takes sitting down, thinking, calibrating, and saying, this is what I want to do, writing it out and figuring out what is the immediate first step you would need to take in that direction. In my case, the immediate first step was that I needed to quit my job. So that is a letter of resignation. But before then, I needed to figure out my finances. How am I going to manage? And for how long can I manage outside of work? So it's these plans that are very important for purposes of giving you the structure. This is like your masculine energy structure that is telling you, this is the boat. This is how things are going to work out. And when we are living within this structure that we've worked out, we do not need to go into survival mode. The sky is not going to fall on our heads because we've thought about these things. Because that is really, really one of the things that happens if you're going to be shifting back and forth in identities. Because you get a little scared of moving forward, then you want to run back to where you were. So that back and forth is not useful. Is not useful, but understand it as your past self trying to hold on, as your middle self trying to hold on to safety, because we can't see the net. We don't know if we're going to fall. We don't know where we are going. So having this kind of structured, thought out and written down helps you feel more secure in this direction that you're taking. Well, what is your plan? What do you need? How do you deal with any setbacks? You can have a plan for dealing with setbacks. The thing with these plans, incidentally, is that we're not talking about perfection. We're not talking about perfection because perfection does not exist. Perfection is, in fact, the illusion that keeps many, 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 many people circling the idea without ever actually taking the action, because we need to know exactly where every single I is dotted and how to cross each and every single T. You keep choosing different pens so that it has the right nib and the right color and the right what have you. And the thing is that in this age, things move very fast. So if you're not able to move at the point when things are how you have planned them, then you'll need to go back to the plan again and again to recreate it. And that then steals away from your resolve and steals away from your actual ability to move forward, because you've been sitting in this space for so long, the space of indecision, the space of I want to, I'm thinking, that you soon enough stop believing in yourself. You stop trusting that you'll be able to make that step. Because what you have shown yourself is that you don't do the things that you say you're going to do. And that then means that your confidence is affected. The next step, which is the big one, is the decision. You decide. And this is the point where the identity shift happens. Making the actual decision, making the actual resolve that this is what I am doing, this is the direction I am getting into. I do not have the full image. I do not have everything that I need to understand exactly how it will look like beyond this door, but I have decided that this is where I'm going. Give yourself permission to move forward and let go of the past. So you cut that tie with your past self. Your past, it's your past self as well as everything that was around the structure of your past self. You'll have friends and acquaintances who are not happy that you want to do something else, that you're moving away into a different direction. And if you let them, they will pull you back, because there'll be a lot of questions. And because you don't have this certainty, this complete clarity of where you're going, then it's very easy for you to get pulled back. So the decision, it's actually just as easy as sitting firmly and saying, this is it. This is where I'm going. It still feels, I do this to shake away the energy because that's my own activity. You do need to actually deal with all the emotions that you're going to be going through. There's a lot of emotional work that you need to do. You need to release a lot of emotions, because you are like uprooting yourself from one pot and putting yourself in another pot. And that takes a lot from you. The plant needs some time to reacclimatize itself into the new surrounding and to the new soil. There's a potential of failure, if the plant is not well taken care of. So you do need to tend to your plant, tend to your roots, make sure that you've covered them up with soil, make sure that the soil is rich, make sure that you have surrounded yourself with people and information who are taking you in the direction that you want to get into. You do need community, because without that, then it's so much easier to fall back to where you were before. Then, well, make the plunge. The decision is a step in itself, and then you go for it. You run full systems ahead. You make the plunge, and clarity will crystallize along the way. Trust that you'll receive guidance along your path. We often get these synchronicities that come into our way, coincidences, things that happen. Sometimes we notice them, sometimes we don't. And these can be really little, small things that help you find something that is leading you in the direction that you have chosen to go. In my case, an example I'll give is that I moved into the area of business advisory. So I'm working with women founders. When I quit my job, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew my passion. My passion was in empowering women, and that is my purpose, empowering women. But I didn't really know exactly what form that would take. So what happened is that I let go. I just relaxed. I let go. I stopped trying to think. And I'll be honest, sometimes I did get pulled back. I did get pulled back into the panic of, what have you done? This is crazy. But I let myself relax, and I let myself take a break. Over 20 plus years without taking meaningful breaks, this was really the first one that made me realize that there is a different way of spending time and a different way of enjoying myself outside of work. And within that time, there are activities that actually led into this, that showed me this path. So I was invited to an event where we were doing some business development work. I managed to get into a course that was all about business development. And then I was reading a lot of material and getting a lot of insights. And in one of the insights that I got was an activity to list down your skills and that kind of thing to understand what strength I would have in terms of business. And it all just fell into place because I've also done coaching and I have been a coach. It fell into place to understand that tying in business development and coaching is something that I'm uniquely placed for because I have a legal background, a background in commercial legal, and I have been doing coaching work. So it's more or less a 360 approach into the business world. And when it hit me, it was like, this is it. This is what I'll be doing now on. And from there, after having made that connection, it became very easy to fall into networking groups. So I attended a networking group where I was invited into another networking group where I ended up speaking, and these things just roll over. And I started becoming more visible on LinkedIn, and that's where my clients came from. So it's interesting. It's a small step at a time, not having the full visibility, but trusting that there is guidance for you that is taking you to the place that you're meant to get into. I hope this has been helpful for you. This is a bit of my journey, and I look forward to hearing from you and your own journey. If you do make that decision to take the plunge and move into this area, allow yourself to want more and experience life.